What's up, everybody? Brian here. I should apologize that this episode's coming out on Wednesday as opposed to Monday. I know you look for it on Mondays and it didn't show up, and I know that I've been very inconsistent with episodes over the last few weeks. I hope you forgive me. Please know it's nothing personal. Some very quick updates before I give you the episode for today. There will be 2 more episodes of the now titled Casual Cartoons. I don't know what those are going to be on yet. I have a few things that I'm waiting to hear back from people on, and we'll see where that goes. And then we're going to take a week or so off, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3. We're not sure yet. And then we're definitely now going to launch Welcome to You Are Doom, the Frisky Dingo podcast, which I'm so excited to bring to you. The only host that I can confirm as of right now is Mr. Matt Dykes, who I have not told that he will be the co-host yet because it's funnier just to keep sending him Frisky Dingo gifts whenever he asks, will I be the co-host? So good news, Matt. If you're listening, you will be one of the co-hosts, but I also never said that, and there's no audio proof of it, like the thing that I'm currently recording. But before Frisky Dingo can happen, I really want to finish Venture Bros. I had promised this big blowout finale, and it just didn't quite come together. Matt was going to fly to the States. We're all going to be in the same room. We were going to high five. And then this whole COVID thing happened, and everything took a pause. So, I'm telling you now, I can't promise it's going to happen, but I am going to try. I'm going to try to get Brock, Matt, Nick, Graham, me, Chewy, everyone who's ever been on a Venture Bros episode to weigh in on what made doing Venture Bros, the Venture Brothers podcast, so much fun, and why I just can't let it go, and I'm still recording things from time to time because it was just the most fun. And I really hope we can bring that episode to you. I've been trying to figure out a way to make it work, and it just hasn't quite clicked yet, but I think I have an idea. But like I said, no promises, but I really hope it can happen. Since I wasn't able to record an episode this week, I had to go back to the After the Hype library and think, what would be a great animated film to really sink our teeth into and spend some time diving into with an audience that maybe didn't flock to it or maybe didn't give it a shot when it came out. So I had to go to Kubo and the Two Strings. I like a film which is just a beautifully animated film, wonderfully acted, just fun, kind of scary and kind of sad, but overall just good movie. And I really hope that you guys get a chance to watch it before you listen to this episode, but if not, the episode is still a blast, and I'm really excited to bring it back out of the library and dust it off and show it to a whole new audience. So without further ado, or more rambling from yours truly, please enjoy this After the Hype episode, Kubo and the Two Strings.
See the love there that's sleeping, while my guitar gently weeps. I look at the floor and I see it needs sweeping.
Yes. All right, so fuck yes, welcome to the Hype Media host as always. Brian Dressel with me as always is Jonathan Hardesty.
What?
I haven't done a really fast one in a while. I felt like
you lost me. I was
perfect. Ryan James.
Hi, Brian. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. Thanks for asking.
You're welcome.
No one ever asks. And Chewy Darso.
Hi. Hi.
I was seeing if you were paying attention.
Hi.
Just staring at your phone.
Hi.
She's preparing.
She's
preparing at her phone.
Preparing for a different podcast.
No.
Are you looking at a different podcast?
I was looking at that.
There it is.
The podcast that was called
she's already jumping
The
ship.
Worst Idea of All Time. And I'm actually
Stop plugging this other show. That's not where you are. Yeah. And special guest today is Mackenzie Pakoff. Hi.
Hi.
We've been spending a whole bunch of time with Mackenzie today, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yep.
Whole bunch of time.
Yep. Running, jumping, bouncing.
Saving her while she falls off a cliff.
Yes.
Ooh.
That might have been made out of vinyl.
and air.
Yeah.
Vinyl and air.
In the most dangerous place in the world, Pasadena, California.
Yes, that is definitely the most dangerous place in the world.
Only for your dreams.
Yeah.
It's true. It's very expensive, and it makes me sad because I want to be there.
And parking. It's the worst for parking.
Which is fine.
Okay, so let's move on to the movie of today. As any fan of our show has known, we here at After the Hype are pretty big fans of Laika and Laika's movies. And Laika released a movie this year, so we're going to talk about it. It's Kubo and the Two Strings, which is far and away their least successful movie, which is a little sad. But you got to have a dud every now and then, I guess. Not that I think the movie's a dud, but it didn't do the best. So usually they cross the 100 million mark and make a significant amount of money. This one did not. It got great reviews. I'm not going to bother reading any of them. It was very, very good across the board. It cost 60 million, which is a little bit more than they usually spend, 50 or 55. This one they spent a little bit more, and I think it shows. But then it made a little bit less. It made 69 worldwide and only made 48 stateside, which is very low.
It's very unfortunate.
It is, and we'll get into why I think that is. I think there's many reasons, and I'm not sure who specifically to blame, but we'll get into that after we do a breakdown. Mackenzie, you excited to do yet another Laika movie breakdown?
I'm a little nervous because this one has a whole lot of plot.
Yeah, this one's there's a lot going on in this one.
There's a lot going on to try to condense 30 seconds, but I will try.
I think you can do it.
I think I can.
I don't think it's impossible.
If you need a quick rundown on the character names, they are Kubo, Monkey, and Beetle.
Beetle. Yes, got that.
okay, good. You're getting really close to stealing my quote for this movie.
Good, I know which one not to go with then.
Okay, you ready to go?
Yes.
Go!
Kubo is a young boy who is on a quest to find 3 pieces of armor so that he can defeat his grandfather who wants to steal his eye in order to bring him back to the stars with him where he lives because he's a god of some sort. He's on this quest with Beetle and Monkey, who we find out later are really his parents, and they die, but in the end he defeats his grandfather, who then becomes human, and he gets to have a family again and have a new story.
Okay.
Nice. That was the best one I've ever heard.
Yeah, that was
nailed it.
You used every second and it worked.
Unrehearsed.
Very nice. Okay, so as is the new custom, you get to not insult me, or you can, but most people don't take me up on it.
Do it.
You get a free shot.
For God's sakes.
Look at him.
Come on, Mackenzie. You know him so well.
Yeah.
You
Look
do
at
know me
his
better than
face.
the last few people who've had to do this. Like, I don't know.
I'd expect strangers to be unable to work past the awkwardness, but you know Brian. You know his dark secrets.
I don't know. I mean, I would have something to say, but this morning when you said all our friends are assholes, he was the only one who said, "No, I'm actually nice."
That's
So
true. Yeah.
Now I feel like I can't insult you. I can
was
insult
just-
Chewy,
Boom.
but I can't insult you.
All right.
Be a nice asshole. I love all of us.
What a nice asshole.
That's
so
all I've
polite.
heard. Man, that's a nice asshole. Anyway, so about this children's movie.
Speaking of nice assholes.
I mean, what can I say?
For watching a movie with a monkey walking around, we didn't see any assholes.
That's true.
That's why
that's
it
true.
didn't do so well in the box office.
It is not accurate.
It's no Secret Life of Pets as far as assholes go.
Did you see their butts?
Yeah.
Like
You
their
see
actual
a whole
assholes?
lot
Absolutely.
of,
Yeah.
because they're always like,
Cat butts and
walking
stuff.
away from you, and you're.
I
always at
didn't see
their
the movie,
ground
so
level.
I thought they might animate the butts out.
No, they animated the butts in.
That's
awesome.
They had a lot of anuses.
Wow.
I actually kind of want to watch it more now.
I don't. I already didn't really want to see
No,
it. Now I
it's a
wanna see
terrible
less.
movie.
I
It's
always
really
think
dumb.
about that episode of Bob's Burgers of butts. Oh, anuses, anuses.
Yep.
Oh,
So
boy.
how about that Kubo movie?
Yeah, that's So here's the way that you
monkey
just
anus.
said that is my biggest problem. That it was the main reason why I think this movie failed.
Yeah.
is that Kubo movie.
Yeah.
That
Well-
much like it is with all of Laika's history, they can't market their own movies.
Right. I don't know, they just don't spend the money on it. It
Okay,
seems like.
the title alone, I don't think is great.
It's not.
No.
Kubo and the those 2 strings, yes, they're important to the plot, but not really.
And you don't understand what it's about. This whole movie, I was like, okay, he's got 3 strings on his instrument. Where are the 2 strings?
Right,
Is he going to lose a
exactly,
string?
yeah.
The whole time I'm distracted by what do the 2 strings mean? And in the end I go, oh, cool. But
I did not care about the title at
to
all when I
title the
watched
movie,
this movie.
it's something
But
that
that's
makes
like
you go,
the
oh,
first
cool
thing that
at
you
the end of it.
see.
I don't know why. I
see-
just didn't care.
Like
See-
if Star Wars didn't go to space till the end of the movie, it would have been a bummer.
yeah.
See, with the first time I saw this back in theaters when it came out, the second I I mean, I just clued into the same voice actor for Monkey and the mom. That I
Right.
went, oh, okay, so the parents are the two strings.
Right.
I mean, it didn't take me to the end of the movie. It's just like, oh, I get it. It kind of made sense to me. I mean, especially because they turned the one hair strand into a string. I'm like, oh, okay. That's
But
just
that
where
was
this is
the
going.
end of the movie.
No, it's right away. It's right after
The first one.
Right when he gets taken away to the snowy land, he grabs a
He
strand of her hair.
rips her hair
Right.
out.
And
She
Monkey
turns it into a
into
bracelet.
Yeah, and that's
But
the
that's not a string on the guitar.
It depends
no,
on
but
how
the second
clever
she
you
did
are.
that, yeah, I'm
Foreshadowing.
like, oh,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I get it.
You
The-
just meant it was string in
Yes,
general.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So,
all right.
The thing I think held this movie back is two-sided,
Okay.
in my opinion. So
No, do you mean held back like quality or held back like audience?
people seeing it,
Okay.
audience. First, you have a movie that is called Kubo, which is not a white name. It's not an American name.
Okay, tell that's Moana.
That's true. That Moana's cleaning the fuck up right now.
It's not Disney, all right?
Yep. That's
Number
true.
two.
So that's
Perfect.
number two.
Yeah.
And it's very Asian. It's and so it's like they really rooted it
Specifically Japanese.
specifically Japanese. They really rooted it in this culture. So that can put a lot of people off, honestly, because they might even think
They
it's
might
a foreign
just think
film
it's an
or
anime.
something. Yeah.
They might think that's.
And
like a
then
Japanese
and then
anime
when
film.
you go past that, then you go into the other side about like, okay, so maybe this will appeal to an Asian audience, but then you cast all white people,
Yeah.
and then you have the one, oh my, from George Takei, which is cute, but it's like a token thing. You have a token Asian guy in a movie about Asian people.
Well, there are two. Not that helps, but
No.
there's two.
A lot of the villagers are voiced by Asian people, but they're all
Yeah.
like just background random things that you don't even pay attention to. It was such a weird choice. I mean, it's a white director with a white cast. And it's so like in a way, it's almost Asian fetishism. I can't say that word right now.
I would disagree. I don't think it's fetishism.
No, I know it's not an actual fetishism, but it's all like that weird reverie that white people can have for Asian culture, and it actually makes a lot of Asian people uncomfortable.
See, I would disagree with this one strictly because it wasn't just like, hey man, I like Asian culture, and it's not like a grab bag of, because usually when you do that, it's like all right, so you have Korean, Chinese, Taiwan, Japanese, and all kind of gets thrown in this thing. It's like, yeah, it's Japan, and people from Japan are going, fuck no, it's not.
Like Memoirs of a Geisha.
Yeah, sure, yes, yeah, and this one they did such a good job making this movie Japanese. Like everything about it is so strictly Japanese. That I can see where you're coming from. I totally get it.
I'm
but
just trying to think of one of the things that could have held
totally
it back.
agree
Because
with
there's a
you.
lot of people that were angry that they cast all white people
And
for these main roles.
I'm not defending that. I'm saying the look of the film and what's in the movie is all very, very Japanese, and I think they nailed that. I agree with you.
It's
that
marketed
going-
well.
yeah.
The only, not that I'm defending that as a thing, but the only defense I have for that is that because Laika is not a big studio, they can't.
it's
afford-
totally trying to get name
yeah.
recognition.
Like they have to get name actors, and
But
in
the thing is that
reality,
there are
the name actors
some
that they,
named
to
Asian
get
people.
financiers. But
Yeah.
so when you're in development on a film and you have a financier, the financier will literally tell you no for every suggestion they have that doesn't make them money
Yeah, I mean that's
domestically and internationally.
this is the exact reason why Scarlett Johansson.
Why
is
not
Ghost
John
in the Shell.
Cho?
Because John Cho is great for us internet fandom, but
Right.
like he's
Fine.
not a U.S. He's not like
No, I
not,
know, but I mean, it's an
financiers
example.
would
I
likely
agree.
say no.
Yeah.
I know all your guys' reasoning, and I know how the Hollywood system works because we work in it. But
Yes.
the matter of fact is, when you show this to people, they're not going to give two shits about all your reasons. They're going to get annoyed.
No, I
Well,
know. That's what I'm saying. I'm not
also-
defending it as a thing. I'm just saying that's why Laika did it. And because and if they were a large studio, then sure, like they need to change. But if you're not a large studio, then you don't have the power to
See,
really.
and now that's where I disagree because I think the proof's in the pudding, and in this situation, it didn't make the money.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
Yes,
if
that's
if,
true.
if it was the
The names
controversy
did
or
not
the
pull
name or
anybody
whatever,
in.
it didn't work. So I get what they're doing and whatnot, but clearly it didn't work out. But
Well,
I mean,
here's a
sorry, go
weird
ahead.
element to this: the marketing. With anime movies that kind of poured over, or Miyazaki, or like Ghibli films.
Right, yeah.
They all like have American actors, white actors voicing the dubs, and this always felt like the advertising always felt like this is an import movie coming in, even though it is made here, and like it doesn't feel like how Disney brings in Moana. Well, it's clearly a Disney movie.
Yeah.
They're doing justice to the culture. Like, oh no, we're bringing this movie in from Japanese culture. Like we're bringing it over from Japan.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to mean by it looked so authentic.
Yeah.
That a lot of people will be like, "Oh, the anime crap," and then they don't
Yeah,
go.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like there's
Well,
kind of
it's-
this subconscious bias against anime in general.
Yeah.
That like, oh, this is so steeped in it. Like it must be anime. I guess I'll wait till video until someone. Maybe.
But I think it's a mixture of that and a mixture with like the controversy and that sort of stuff. So it's either people assuming that it was anime, they didn't want to see it, assuming that the actors were wrong and they don't want to see it. There's a lot kind of stacked against it. And although I think it's one of the better movies of the year, it was tough to kind of like knock down that wall of just like they had this negative wall going into it, and it was
Yeah.
really tough to push past
Yeah,
it.
I don't know what they
And
could have
then
done
the
in their
third
advertising.
factor, which I think is the problem with all Laika movies, is what is that movie?
Yeah.
Even if you watch the trailer for any of their movies, you
Yep.
go, what is that movie
Wait,
about?
what?
But that's one of the
Yeah.
reasons I like Laika so much is that they don't have catch-all trailers. They don't have. They never make a
I think
trailer
that's
that shows
a very
you all the
specific
plot.
thing to a specific group of
Yeah.
people. I think most people.
A lot of
the
people
point-
want to
the
see
point
the
of
plot
trailers
in the
is to
trailers.
market the movie to them,
Yeah.
so that you say this is a movie you
Well,
would enjoy because
yeah,
this is what
these-
it's about and this is the kind of thing you like.
compare it.
But if you don't know what it is, then
yeah,
you don't want to go see.
compare it to Moana that came out. Like just how they handled the advertisement of that. Like they made it palatable to anyone.
They also
That's Disney though.
That's
yeah,
Disney. That's
and
the
the
thing is, like-
advertisement for that was very cute and plucky. They did not. They made
But
this
the movie
look
didn't
more
match
serious.
the advertisement. Like the movie didn't match the
It's
advertisement.
not cute and plucky.
It's got its edges, but like it. These movies kind of did their advertisements different ways, and clearly, like this just wasn't tracking. Like
No, but it's tough to compare. I get where you're coming from with comparing.
only
to
comparing it
Moana.
on, like,
I
yeah,
get,
surface
I get
level.
that, but yeah, it's tough to compare, especially with Disney, because I mean Disney can pretty much slap anything on the screen right now and
Yeah.
it'll make a fuckload of money.
yeah,
Yeah,
And Laika clearly
Disney is Tom
they
Cruise.
can't. Yeah. Fuck Tom Cruise. Sorry.
Tom Cruise, we love you. We'd love to have you on.
but again, it's that
Oh,
We
subconscious.
tried to run like you during the relay today. It didn't work.
Tried so hard.
It's that subconscious thing though. Like you're thinking like when you watch this trailer, like what is this? What?
Yeah,
What? And then
it's-
with Moana, you get it. With Disney movies, you get it because
Yeah.
they manage to visually get you that idea. This is what the movie is going to be. You're going to feel
Yes.
this during the movie. You don't know what you're going to feel during this movie.
No, like if you were to show the trailer to somebody, you would never go, "Oh, so it's about family." Like it never felt like that. It
Exactly.
felt like it was like this cool
Exactly.
like kid against the elements thing, and that's not what the movie is.
That
at
is
all.
not what it is
But that's
about.
actually what I was kind of hoping for, which I'll get into.
Yeah. So let's actually So we've talked about the marketing. Ryan, you didn't say much. Was there anything else that didn't hit you for it?
No.
So let's actually talk about the movie itself, because I think the movie itself is, as with every Laika movie, significantly better than the marketing.
yes.
I like pretty much everything about this movie, but let's start
Yeah.
with the titular character, Kubo.
Kubo. Oh, Kubo.
Kubo.
What's wrong with your eye?
I
It's
feel
gone.
like Kubo is when we talked about Hero. What was that movie?
Big Hero 6.
Big Hero
yeah,
6.
he's kind of like Hero, where everything terrible just keeps happening to him. Like you can't just start with terrible things happening and then like eventually things get better. It's like no. Terrible things will just continue happening to you. Like you will lose your father, and then you will lose your mother, and then you'll lose them both again.
Yep. And then what you didn't see when the credits were rolling is that he was walking 10 feet. He tripped on a rock and banged his head, and he has a coma. And in his coma, he was dragged down to hell. Like, it's just going to keep getting worse for this guy.
I thought
Yeah.
Kubo. I like him as a hero more than I like Hero.
I'd agree.
No,
yeah.
I just
Yeah.
was comparing the two.
No,
just because
I
it's
understand.
Like, in most
It's if I had
movies
to
like
choose.
this, they'll give the child a tragedy that they have to overcome,
Yeah.
and in their cases, they have multiple tragedies that they're overcoming,
another
and
thing-
they just have to keep their head up and keep going.
another
And
thing that I love
Kubo
about
does.
Laika.
But that's-
Kubo
yeah.
just like keeps going because
That's what I love about
do.
Kubo versus like Hero, where
Yeah.
Hero is very much like, everything sucks, and he just gets really
Well, because
bitchy. and
Hero's
whiny.
not a Laika character.
True.
No.
And like if I had a kid and I can show them this movie, his upbeat attitude throughout the entire thing is fantastic. Like all of the odds are stacked against him in the worst way possible, and he stays positive and upbeat, and it
Playful.
doesn't feel false.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's only for the script.
He's
like
kind
you
of
actually
a bully, though. He really
totally.
bullies that bird. He bullies the crap out of that bird.
That's true. Well, he's
What an
getting to know his
asshole.
he's getting to know his magical powers.
Yeah.
But like to be able to go through that and then still raise his sword at the very end. Like,
Yeah.
wow. And you believe it. You buy it. Like, oh, he's going to do it.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
going to fight back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works the whole way through. Like
Yeah.
I think he's a. That's we'll get into this later, but ultimately, I do not think this is my favorite Laika movie. I don't think it's a bad movie at all. But I think he's one of my favorite characters because as opposed to the other ones, which I mean, he still is to a degree, but most Laika characters have this element of reactionary to him, and they don't have a lot of like forward momentum. And I feel like he is reactionary, but also very forward pushing. So like it is a little bit like Monkey kind of dragging him along of like this is what we need to go do, but it always kind of feels like he's willing to do all of it.
Yeah,
And
he
he's
wants
solving
to
the
do the
problems.
mission.
Yeah, he
but
wants
he's
He's
to
solving
solve.
the problems, not.
but he's still a
Monkey's
kid,
not
so he
solving
wants
them
to
for
play.
him.
Yeah, to what you were both just saying.
Sorry. We agree.
Yeah, no, it's that like he's solving the problems, he's going on the missions, he's willing to do this and is an active participant. Whereas like say like Paranorman the whole time is him just going, oh fuck, what's going on? What do I have to fix? And
Oh no, I got what's going on, huh?
yeah, and I love Paranorman.
Yeah.
He is a great character in it, but like this, I like action characters. And
Yeah, I think Kubo and Coraline would get along rather well.
Oh, they totally bang.
When they're older.
Is that not what you meant?
But he's supposed to be
I'd
11 in
ship
this
it.
movie. I don't remember how old Coraline's supposed to be.
I think they're both too young to bang.
Yeah.
They're going to be preteens soon. That's about when you start now.
God.
Oh. Well, technically,
no.
he's a lot older than her.
Coraline?
No, Kubo would be a
Oh, I
lot
guess
older.
Kubo's technically like
Oh, well, yeah.
be-
5,000
he'd be
years
dead.
A couple
old right
centuries
now.
in
Yeah.
between.
So it's really gross on Coraline, not on him. Or both.
Ah.
It's fucked up
Okay,
either
let's
way.
Either
No,
way,
let's keep talking about this.
either way, how dare we?
Let's talk about these other characters. I'll start with the one that I like before the one that I don't. I really like Beetle.
Oh, I loved Beetle.
I think
thought he
Beetle's
was
a lot
hilarious.
of fun. It wasn't until the credits came around that I realized it wasn't voiced by Stephen Colbert.
He was
it
the
kinda
only
has the
one that I
same
picked out
inflection,
right
doesn't
away.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Because I was like, that sounds like, oh, but it can't be. And it was.
McConaughey.
See, that's
Yeah.
what I was doing the whole thing. That sounds like Stephen Colbert. It can't be. He doesn't have time for this. And it's Matthew McConaughey?
Well, that's what I was saying. I was like, this sounds like Matthew McConaughey, but why is he voicing a beetle in a Laika movie?
Okay, go back and rewatch it and think Stephen Colbert. You'll see what I'm talking
Okay.
about. It's like the same inflection.
Yeah.
I do actually think he was the only one that sounded like the actor. The other guys did a really good job.
See, I did not feel that Charlotte Theron.
See, I have the exact
didn't pick her out
opposite
at all.
feeling.
Oh.
That's really funny. I have the opposite. I thought that McConaughey did a better job than Theron.
Yeah, I'm right there with you because
Yeah.
I there's a ghost.
The ghost.
The ghost of
The
tape
ghost of
coming
disagreeing.
unstuck.
No, I really thought that Matthew McConaughey did a good job kind of being that character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
and
for sure.
And I loved that character. I loved that he was a complete idiot. I loved the whole action sequence, like which is probably the most beautiful sequence in the movie when he's underwater and like the big eye monsters are coming to get it, and you think that he's going to get the armor, and then you're like, oh fuck, where'd it go? And then he comes up out of the water with the fish.
Yeah.
I got it.
I totally related to his character so bad in that moment. Like, I couldn't tell you how many times I've gone into a room to do one thing, and then I get distracted and do the other thing, and then leave and go like, oh, I'm done. Oh wait, I gotta go back.
When you said room, I was so sure you were about to say river. So many times I've dove into a river.
Grab
It
my
was just
supplies.
With one task in mind. And then
Luckily,
I
it's
just
never
do
been like
something
I have
else.
to go save my son. It's never been that
Yeah.
dire, but I've definitely done that a lot.
Meanwhile, Brian, you're like, why do we have a river near our apartment?
LA River's dry, man. I don't know what you're diving into. But no, I think he's just a really kind of fun character the whole way through, and like it was. Were you guys surprised that he was the dad? Was that like a left turn for you? at
No.
all?
No,
Yeah.
I called
That's what I
both
hated.
of them
One
right
of the
away.
things I didn't like about this
Yeah.
movie.
Oh, we'll get into what I didn't
well,
like.
I didn't start to think he was until they are sitting together having the meal on the boat, and
Yeah.
he's like,
I-
"Oh, I've never
I
seen
knew
this
it
with
was his
beetle." And then
dad.
they start flirting, and then I got weird because I'm like, "Why is she flirting with this beetle?"
Yeah.
And then it was
and then
like,
why,
okay,
are they,
that's why.
why are they waking up next to each other and like all
But-
disheveled? It's like
Well,
What about the fact that
What?
you knew right away that the
When did
monkey
that
was his
happen?
mom?
the next day, like
That
was the
he
dead
rolls
giveaway.
over on top of her.
That's
and
why I knew it was Beetle.
Yeah.
But the reason I knew that Beetle was his dad is because when he was doing the pray thing to the lantern, his dad wasn't appearing.
That too.
So it was very clear, like, your dad's not dead, kid.
Yeah.
I said that in that moment.
Well, I
Yeah.
didn't realize that until later,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
and then I was like, "Oh, that must be him because
You weren't
it didn't
praying
launch.
wrong. He's just
dead.
not dead.
It actually the visuals gave it away. The fact that the little figure with the shadow he's casting on the wall looked exactly like Beetle's
Yeah.
head.
Yep.
It is
But-
another clue.
But here's my thing: is that although I was able to pick all this out, it didn't bother me.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I guess predictable plots are like something that
But
do
I don't-
bother me a little bit.
For me, it didn't feel like it was supposed to be not predictable.
Right.
It felt like this is just the story.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I never felt like it was like gotcha. It was
Right.
just kind of like, oh, this is just what's happening now.
Yeah.
I want to
Well-
be got more.
See,
But
but
I
that
don't like
works
gotchas
in
either because
that-
you don't want it at the end of the movie to be like, "Oh, and by the way, the whole time it was this." If there's like no supporting evidence for it.
But what if your father's that villain you've been fighting the whole time?
Well, it's his grandfather. So it's
But that,
Still all in the family.
all of that works into why this is not my favorite Laika film. Because however much I enjoy the journey, and I think this movie's beautiful and the characters are amusing, it is, to me, predictable. Like, it is a great hero's journey. It is a great traditional story beats. Like, with the three tasks to get you to your ending, and then you beat the villain and da-da-da. And
I like those
you have a
things.
relatively happy
that
ending.
works for me, yeah.
Even though
It's
I don't really...
bittersweet ending.
Oh, I do not consider
Right.
the ending to be very happy. I actually think Kubo becomes kind of a villain. But
I agree.
I'll argue it. But that's one thing that won't make it my favorite Laika, because that's one of the things I love about Laika is the majority of their movies, when I'm watching them, they're really fresh and new and interesting stories that I've never really seen before. And this one, I feel like I had.
I don't think for me, this is the first Laika movie that went style over substance. Because I think
They definitely
is
wanted to do
the
a
most
beautiful
beautiful Laika movie.
They wanted to do a
Absolutely.
very traditional storyline in a very beautiful setting.
I could make the argument might be one of the most well animated films ever.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, none of the other Laika movies have done such sweeping is the only word I can think of. It's
Epic,
just
yeah.
sweeping landscapes, beautiful sunrises and sunsets, and
Oh, yeah.
water. And
There's
just
one problem
all
with
of
that.
it.
Like Ryan pointed out to me that a lot of that is CG.
Yeah, they did do more CG in this than any of the
Oh,
other
that's
ones.
kind of annoying.
And the thing, I had that same reaction in the beginning, but at the same time, it's kind of like, well, what do we want?
How giant
Well,
of a
yeah.
warehouse do we want them to have
Yeah,
to be
like-
able to do all that?
Why don't they just have a real ocean that they
Yeah, and that's like the fact that they found a way to do claymation water is
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
The fact that if you watch the behind the scenes, you look behind the scenes stuff. Like the sets that they built to do these sweeping shots, they're no fucking joke. Like
Right.
some of the
Yeah.
buildings
Yeah.
are almost as tall as people. Like they're huge.
Well, the skeleton is like bigger than life size.
Oh yeah, he's gargantuan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I'm totally fine with them going. All right, well we're gonna do 75% claymation. If it
Yeah.
was only 75%, like that's fine. Because like they do big crowd scenes, and a lot of the crowd is CG. They're not.
Yeah.
They weren't
Yeah.
any characters for them. And I kind of, when I first watched them, like, I don't like this. And then it's like, wait, like I want a movie more than I want to
Right.
be able to say,
Yeah.
well, it's 100% claymation. Like I don't need the badge
Yeah.
of honor.
That's not the hill I'm willing to die on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like you say, like very much like focusing on the style and everything
Yeah.
they're putting into it, which I totally can respect and enjoyed.
Oh yeah. The look of the movie it's so good that I'm okay with it.
I mean, the director wrote this, right? This was kind of a passion project for him.
I believe so. I
Yeah.
don't remember. That
It's
sounds right. Post fact, it's true.
but
But
like he put a lot of work into this particular vision of his.
yes. My biggest takeaway from the movie that I wasn't a big fan of, I did not like the character Monkey at all. And I don't know why. I don't know if it was because that was the only character that I felt had the hoodwink nature to it of
Yeah, because I was, even though I watched it twice this week, and I still am a little unclear as to why she wouldn't just tell Kubo who she was.
Well, she said because she didn't want to get him too attached to her because she's going to die again.
But then she tells
It's-
him anyways,
but-
and he gets too attached to her, and she dies.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but it's like it's
well, that was
also
an accident.
it's
your
a wet
mind.
fart
Like,
is what that is.
so, but that doesn't make sense because it's like, so he thought his mom was dead already, or did she want him to believe that his mom was off somewhere waiting for him, and then he would later find out that she's not? Like,
Yeah, it was kind of a weird, like, hey, your mom's going to have to die twice thing. So she's trying to avoid him having to go through that loss twice, but we all know he's going to figure it out. And then
Right.
he has to
Well,
go through it
and yeah,
anyways.
the character's handled so weird, and just her reveal is kind of abrupt, and like even though you know what's going on, like it just doesn't make sense. Like when they reveal that she's the mother, it's
she
like
wouldn't-
why now, and like
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
this, why the monkey, why are you so mean, like there's just nothing to
Yeah.
prop that up
well, she
on.
was
but
never
also she wouldn't
mean.
have to die twice because he like was not even conscious when the first time that she was like cut down by the
Yeah.
sisters,
Right, yeah.
and then he just wakes up and she's a monkey. So it's like he would still only lose her once. It just I didn't like that.
So the monkey character, I think, is the most poorly handled in the entire movie. That's really why I will go, because I can look at all the other Laika movies and go, I virtually have no problems with these. This one, I have one glaring one, and it's
Monkey.
monkey.
Okay.
Monkey.
Gorgeously animated.
It's well, Freud says it's
Amazingly.
always your mother's fault.
There we go.
really fast.
Yes.
The Travis Knight, the director of this film, this was his directorial debut. He is actually Laika's CEO, and the film was written by original story by Shannon Tyndall and written by Mark Hames and Chris Butler.
Oh, okay.
So there's quite a few people involved.
I
But
mean-
the CEO of Laika this is his directorial debut.
Explains why I got a little bit more money with it.
Yeah, they got a little more like big epic scale.
But the thing is, I think he did a great job. Like I think
Yeah.
like there's very few things that I can really rip down about the movie because ultimately I think it's fantastic. Ryan brought up what I think is probably the best thing in the movie, though. Before we sat down, you even had to play along a little bit.
Oh, the music. I mean, the
music is
specifically the
beautiful.
instrument
Yeah,
that he plays. I loved it.
yeah.
Have you never heard it before?
I mean, sure, but you know, the way that they used it in this movie was my favorite
You
part.
should really listen to Yoshida Brothers.
Okay.
Yeah, they're great, but
Oh, they're fantastic.
I agree. Like the music in this movie is fantastic. The use of the instrument as like an actual story, like everything about it was just
Right.
is fantastic.
And that he can use. I also liked that it could be his weapon, but it's not a weapon. It's just his magic that he can like use it for when he's for joy, just to play with origami birds.
And the
he can
payoff
use
is-
it. He can use it to solve problems by building a boat, and then he
Yeah.
can use it to like fight his enemies if he needs to.
And I love that it's
I want to cut.
the ultimate weapon that
Yeah.
he uses against his grandfather.
And it is a shamisen or samisen.
S-
It does not have
Samsonite, we were way off.
samisen.
Yeah.
Also called sangen. It's a Japanese musical instrument derived from the Chinese instrument sangseon. I'm trying real hard to say these. They do
Well,
not have phonetic on Wikipedia.
You didn't read the
There
most
goes that
interesting part
audience.
from the Wikipedia is that the literal translation is 3 strings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Samisen means
Ah.
three
Yeah.
strings.
So I love that ultimately this armor that he had to pick up, this great and powerful warrior's armor, is bested by that Sangosan.
Technically, it was bested by his
Magic.
spirit,
Yeah.
which comes out in his magic, which when he learns discipline and can really control it, which is one thing he was being lectured about.
Yes.
Which he never really couldn't control it, but that's a different
I mean, he lost control for that one moment when the paper turned into mosquitoes and tried to attack their mom, his
Yeah.
mom.
He says that.
yeah.
And he did lose control when he created what I think is the best character in the movie.
The boat?
Nope, the little
tiny-
little paper guy.
Yeah, he just
Tiny
kind of
warrior.
comes out.
he's fantastic.
Without
I love
him,
him.
really none of this movie would have happened.
That's true.
Yeah.
They'd have been like,
It's
"Where's
very
the armor?"
important.
I don't know.
Yeah, not really sure. Let's just wander around the country.
For
and
it would have been a
find it.
very long movie without that little guy.
And when they're telling the story of the real guy and he gets all excited, he's like, me.
Yeah, that's,
so good.
that's me.
Yep.
The amount of character they made into that one little paper guy is so fucking awesome.
I love watching him like climb a ladder. It's just this tiny little paper guy. He's
Yep.
like, all right, we got to go back up here. We gotta climb this ladder.
I was a little sad when I was looking for like things to buy for this movie, and there's no action figures.
Well,
Yeah,
it
I'm not
didn't make
surprised.
any money.
They
so
never-
Why would they invest?
I
in
guess, yeah,
action
it's
figures?
true.
As
But
a person who buys all the toys for all of the things, this is surprisingly Laika never has any kind of product placement, which I actually have a really strong feeling is part of their downfall because if you're a little kid and you're walking through Toys R Us and you see a character that looks interesting on the shelf, you're going to ask your mom and dad what that is, where it's from, and you want to see it.
they perfected that in the 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's funny because so many people involved in Laika also helped out with like Nightmare Before Christmas, which
Right.
is just
Everywhere.
still a huge thing
Oh,
because
yeah.
of its
I
marketing.
still
and
buy
tourism.
stuff from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny that like it never really went for that.
Right.
It's actually kind of too bad.
I
'cause
mean, they're a little
I
more
would buy their figures.
purist
Me
Yeah.
too.
of a cinema thing. They're very
Which
much
is
the
great.
art over the money.
And that's
If you want to be a starving artist,
Right.
yeah.
If
and
you
they-
want
very
to, if
large
you want to not
starving
be able to make
artist.
art that people
Yeah.
see,
Or if you want to not be able to pay your employee. Like,
right?
there's-
Exactly. It's like, do you want people to see your art so you have
I mean,
to make
Laika
money?
has paid their employees, right? They
No,
never
I-
had
yeah,
any
they're
of
not
that
Sausage Party.
controversy.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, they're not like Sausage Party.
I'm
which,
just saying, like, the eventual road, if by doing,
Yeah,
art for
like,
art's sake, is
will it
eventually
continue?
you got to let people go because
Right.
you got to
Yeah.
do it yourself.
Yeah.
I'm-
And because of this one really not making any money, like, are they going to keep getting funding?
Well, you definitely
well, I
can't
mean,
do
they already have 2 that they're making.
Right.
So because they're always they wanted to start doing a yearly schedule. We'll see if that actually happens. But they already
I don't
have
know
the.
if that's possible.
Well, I mean, their studio apparently is huge because
Yeah.
they're just always making stuff. So
And
the
they-
next one's supposed to come out this fall. We'll see.
they shoot in a cheaper place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're in Portland.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's possible. I mean, we'll definitely see. I mean, I'll still keep going to see them, but
What are you looking at?
Oh, just my microphone bumped. I'm not sure why.
Oh, it is my foot.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
No, it's
There
still
we
the
go.
ghost.
It's the ghost.
Still the ghost.
Yeah.
Disagreeing
Ghost.
with us. They hate
Yeah.
Laika. All right, I think we should move on to the how Chewie puts it, the bad ending.
It's
not
not
bad.
a bad ending.
guy
What?
ending.
It's a
I
great
mean, he
ending.
did the
Bad
same.
guy
He
ending.
did the same thing to his grandfather that his grandfather did to his dad. He'd stripped his grandfather of his soul, essentially. And I mean, however much you don't like his grandfather, it's kind of like just desserts of like, you did this to us and tortured us, and now we get to do it to you.
His grandfather was going to destroy the entire town.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
And
not defending.
kill
I'm not defending his
everybody.
grandfather. His grandfather was a terrible person, but I don't know. I think it would have been.
What is he? What's his
So
option?
what was the other
Yeah.
option? To
To
just
kill him.
sacrifice himself and
that's
go
kill
to
him.
the stars?
Put him
To
out of
kill
his
his
misery.
grandfathers, because now his grandfather's kind of like his prisoner
So then it is the same as doing what his grandfather did
to his
Yeah.
dad.
to everybody. Killed him.
And that's no, because his grandfather didn't kill people. He changed them and made them forget who they are, which is exactly what Kubo does to his grandfather at the end of the movie. It's this really kind of genius thing of like, well, Kubo did it, so it's okay, but is it?
We're on Kubo's
It's
side.
no, it's when you do it to good people, it's bad. When you do it to
Yeah.
evil people, it's good.
I mean, that's a really poor argument.
But
Well,
I think,
For,
but that's
there's
why
so
I
many
like
things
the
you
end.
could use
like,
that for that it's
Oh,
bad.
Well, here's my argument for it. For one, what were his choices? For two, when the grandfather did it, the grandfather hates humanity, and the reason he took away the memories of the father is to torture him, because he had love and he had a family and he was happy, and they were like, well, screw you, you're not going to remember any of that. Even when you're with them, you won't remember it. And that's specifically to mess with him. And when he does it to his grandfather, he does it to not because like, oh, I want to take away all your happy memories of murdering people. I want to give you a new life.
I mean,
Let
So-
you start.
It's
My-
kind of the forgiveness track, isn't it? Like,
I guess.
it's a chance for him to do it the way that it should be done. Like,
but he
took his
didn't
memories,
want to
but,
be
like,
forgiven.
but
But he
Because
was given
because
love at the end.
so yeah, so
He was
when
given
so when
love
he
in that.
takes away his memories, makes him mortal, and then the guy's like, "Oh, sorry, I don't know who I am. I forgot my story." And then the old lady pops up and she's like, "I'll tell you." And for a second, I think you're kind of supposed to wonder, like, what's she gonna say? Like, is she gonna say, "Hey, you're this evil dude who is terrible. Like, get out of here"? No, they say, "You're so great. You're so kind. You do all these good things. You give money to the poor. Like, you are a wonderful person," in the hopes that he will now be this wonderful person if he believes that that is who he is.
and I get that, but at the same time, since we never really get his POV, all we know is that he's the bad guy who attacked his dad.
Yeah.
We don't know what his world is like. We don't know if he's happy in his world. Maybe he just really wants his grandson in his life.
Yeah.
Like, he just wants him to be a part of what he considers the heavens, as he refers to it all the time. He never join
Yes,
me in the
and
heavens.
he views all these
But, well,
things
we
as
do also
weaknesses,
know-
and
well-
he doesn't want them,
Yeah,
and
he
now they
wants him
just
to be
forced
immortal.
it
He
upon
doesn't want
him.
him to die. He wants good things in his point of view for his
Right.
grandson.
Well, but also in the evidence that we get from the daughters, that the viewpoint of the people who live in the heavens are that humanity is trash.
True.
So my best analogy for this that would explain my feelings
And
on
that
it.
and that Kubo could come hang out with him in the heavens, but he doesn't want him to unless he is made into a star person.
We don't know that for sure.
Yes, we do.
well,
When
he
did he
wants
say
him to
that?
be blind
He
to
said
humanity.
he like we're
he
gonna
doesn't want
take
to
your
feel
eyes
love or
to
anything.
come live with us in the stars, because in that he can't.
But then he can't get
he's-
his eye back. So
But what they're saying is that he can't come unless they do that, because they don't want gross human nasties
or he's
to
just
come
not
live in the
able
stars.
to be there.
I don't think that they're fucking magic. They can do whatever they want. Like, they can come fly around Earth. Like, they can't bring a human back with them. I'm pretty sure they can.
I mean, in a lot of fairy tale sort of stuff, immortals can do things that mortals can't.
but okay,
but I
Chewie's gonna burst.
interpreted this as that the rules of the universe were that of course he could, but they hate humanity, and they want to turn Kubo into a star god
because
thing
they love
to
their
bring him.
grandson. They want to be part of their life.
But then why can't he?
I'm just
come
playing
the
devil's
way he
advocate.
is? They don't
Yeah.
love him the way he is. Is
so,
the thing.
okay. My analogy
Yes.
is
This better be good.
when America went, we're going to save the Middle East. We're going to bring them democracy. And then we go in there, we topple all their governments, and we're like, here, this is better. And then they look at us like, what? That's not how we do. I mean, yeah, we don't want fascism and we don't want to be killed, but that's not how we live. It's like the West saying, this is how it should be done. This is better. This is what everyone likes. And then they're left going, no. That's how I feel about the ending of this.
Okay, well, here's
But
here's an
the grandfather
alternative
seems
theory.
to be fine with it.
Well, because he can't remember anything.
I know.
And he's been stripped of all of his powers.
I'm well aware.
Everything that he was taken away.
I agree.
All of his murderous despotism was taken away.
This is why.
But and that's
terrible for
only
him.
and yeah, for him it's a tragedy. For him it's a complete utter tragedy. He's utterly defeated and he's molded into the image that he hates.
Yeah, he's defeated and humiliated. So it'd be like if you had a war against cows. At the end of this, not only did you lose your war, now you're a cow.
And sure. I was gonna say it's like
Well,
taking a cow
I mean-
and be like, cow, you are now a chicken. No,
Would that make
chicken.
the cows the villains? Because
Well,
I
in
think
my-
that would
in my
probably
story,
be
yeah.
fair.
I mean,
in my story, yeah.
Like, I would deserve to be a cow. If I've
I mean,
been
we're
murdering
and
cows my
yeah.
whole life,
It's
then
it's
yeah.
great for everybody
Okay.
else, but it's terrible for him. That's what I'm saying. It's
But the argument is like, is that a bad thing? He's been a dick his whole life, so okay. So now
And
you're
he
not
gets-
going to be a dick and enjoy the rest of your life.
He basically gets to live the easy life and be amongst people who love him unconditionally.
maybe
But-
and be with his grandson, who
Yeah,
you
who
think
he wanted to be a
wanted
part.
to be
Yeah.
with.
who
And
he
So he gets to be
And
with
not
them.
his daughters, because
he's
his
going to
other
be
daughter
told
killed
that
both
he
of them.
loves, even though he'll be like, I don't really remember loving you.
But at
If you
the
say so.
at the end of all this, everything we said, the one thing that I think is the biggest takeaway, especially for Kubo and the Two Strings versus all the other Leica movies, is we can actually talk about this ending. Every other
Every
other
other
Leica
like
ending,
is very clean cut.
it's very cut and dry. Like, oh, that's how it worked out.
yeah.
Well, because I also think that with this one, they really built up a mythology that isn't really explained, which I think is okay. I'm not complaining
I
that
actually
like they
kinda
didn't
like it
set
better.
up the
Yeah.
rules of the universe.
Yeah, I didn't need a Nolan-esque.
Like even in the beginning, I was like, when he was telling the story with the origami, I was like, wait, is that really happening right now? Is this like, is he magic or is this like?
By the
we're
way, that
supposed to
story
imagine that
took
that's moving?
all day. From beginning,
Yeah.
from dawn to dusk. That's a long story.
That's why the old lady was like, "So are you gonna finish it this time?" Because he never finishes the story.
the
He just
whole
goes on
town's
and on.
watching the whole time. Nothing's happening in this
Yeah.
town when
They
he's
would
telling
hate
his
the
story.
fuck out of this kid.
I mean,
He
they
tells
love him,
great
but
2/3 of a story.
He better
Fuck
not
that
tell
kid.
it every day. This better
Man.
be like once a week or once a month.
So I
sort of
think
thing.
that
Their
is
economy
why.
is garbage. All day they just stare at this kid telling a story and they don't do business.
But so I think that's why we can't definitively say whether the act at the end is good or evil, because we don't fully know the rules of the universe and the rules of what actually happened when he did that to his grandfather. Like, does he have the power to kill him? Or does he only have the power to defeat the magic and turn him mortal?
Can you just imagine what the rest of the gods are thinking at that moment? That this 11-year-old boy can strip us of our beings and our memories?
they better keep
Oh.
out.
And we're like, they're definitely getting attacked by some other gods.
Those
Yeah.
sisters better stay up there because
Well, the sisters
are dead.
Oh, yeah, that's right, they're dead.
That's the one thing. Another one thing I've had many for this movie that I really like is that like I like that there's legit consequences, which I mean Leica's been
Yeah.
very good about from the beginning.
Yeah.
But this one, like the fact that both
I
of his
actually
parents
felt
died,
bad for the sisters a
shit.
little bit. I mean, the sisters even say that they
missed
acted
their sister.
very mean, but they missed their sister.
Yeah.
They say it multiple times. You robbed us of our sister, which is kind of like, and
So we're gonna murder you.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very extreme response, but it's kind of like
Yeah.
going
But again,
from,
like so
from
their
like
sister
Wizard
fell in
of
love with the
Oz to Wicked, like the different points of view and why these things happened.
So they lost, but again, they lost their sister because she fell in love with the dude that they were supposed to murder.
True.
It's kind of like a Romeo and
So like,
Juliet
how
thing.
dare you? We were supposed to kill that dude.
Yeah,
And you done
Now we're
fucked
gonna
up.
kill you
Yeah.
and your son.
it's like being
They weren't
being
gonna
an
kill
Oh
Kyle.
yeah, they weren't gonna kill him.
fighting
Just
for
gonna
the
maim
Americans
him.
and then falling in love with a Nazi. That's how it felt in their perspective. Like she just fell in love with Hitler.
I don't know that we can really put.
I'm
these-
doing total devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't.
With Nazis.
With Nazis.
Pretty sure
Nazis
that.
are
Hey,
Zombies?
Ryan argued Nazis made everything better last
I
week.
Right?
don't think we can equate Hanzo with Hitler, as he did not exterminate an entire.
Hey, we
society.
don't know. We don't know anything that he did beforehand.
That is true.
They said
On
that
your logic alone, we don't know the rules.
Don't
The
know,
heaven-
but exactly.
the
we don't
heavens
know, so to
saw
assume that
Hanzo,
he's
and they said that Hanzo was becoming too powerful. Well, what was he doing that was making him so powerful?
He was slaughtering
He
a
was-
whole race.
Yep, that's
Maybe.
That's why there's only Japanese people in this movie. The rest of the world is dead.
Well, he probably wasn't slaughtering a whole race, but if he was a really
guy who
good
unified
samurai, then he probably
China-
was slaughtering a whole lot of people.
the guy who unified China and made it what it is today actually slaughtered a whole bunch of people to make that happen.
well, the history of Japan as well.
Unified,
The-
eh?
Yep.
During the samurai era, they were just killing everybody.
Yeah, Genghis Khan, one of the greatest people to ever be a ruler, but he murdered the fuck out of everyone. So who knows?
Is there anything else that we didn't hit on this thing that we need to? We didn't really talk about the monster designs.
so
which I think
I-
are great.
Also, want to just talk about the themes of memories and stories as being your own humanity and how important that was in this movie.
Well, this movie's very much about heroes to remember, legends never die.
Yeah.
It's very in there of these guys are creating their stories, and they even say it like, my story's ending. Your story's not ending. It's
Yeah.
going to live on forever with Kubo and him.
It's a very good movie for dealing with death.
Yeah.
You should be sad, but don't let it destroy you.
Yeah. But I like the whole story aspect of it. I think it's a little heavy-handed at points, but I mean, it's a
Yeah.
heavy movie.
Because the very first line in the movie when he's like, "Don't blink, not even for a second." Oh God, that was gonna be my line. Whatever, I'll pick a different one. And he says, "If you forget any part of this, even for a second, our hero will surely perish." Because it's like if you forget it, then that story
Yeah.
is gone,
Yeah.
and that person
no more
is
story.
gone.
Yeah, no, it's a really good through line throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
There's something. Oh, the other thing we didn't mention that I really want to is the monster design. We mentioned very briefly the skeleton and the eye things, and
The eye things are amazing.
They're
Those
amazing.
sisters were terrifying.
Yeah.
the
Oh.
sisters were
We
horrifying.
didn't talk about them. Rooney Mara did the voice, and
Yeah.
that's
I
kind
think
of what I was
Rooney
hitting
Mara
at. When you can't
did
hear her at
fantastic.
all.
No,
Fantastic.
she
She
hit
did a
herself in the
great
voice
job.
perfectly.
Yeah.
Such a good
Oh,
job.
they
And
were
those things.
scary.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
sisters are why I have friends who have children who have not shown this movie yet.
Yeah.
Yep.
'Cause
That's,
it's
Oh
too
yeah.
fucking
They're
scary.
They're
not-
very
this is
villainy.
not for
that is
small
the reason
children.
why we didn't go see it
And
in the theater.
they're just
Yeah.
floating with their toes dragging across the floor, and it
Yeah.
reminded me of in The Craft
Yeah, in
when
The Craft.
Nancy's dragging her toe.
Gross.
They're so scary witches.
But they're like a force to be reckoned with. Like
Yeah.
they're scary fucking things.
They're way scarier than the grandpa.
Yeah, because the grandpa's just a big worm.
Yeah.
No, that was
Yeah.
scary too. The dragon.
Yeah, I mean he's.
I mean,
Dragon.
kind of.
I was, but I didn't.
He kind of looked
As
a lot
a-
like from the first Avengers movie.
A little bit, I could see
Yeah.
it. But as like a 30-year-old, the sisters made me go, "Ooh, those are creepy."
Yeah.
The big dragon thing, I was like, that's scary for Kubo.
Obviously, that's a villain. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
a sucker for. You think that's one person? Actually, it's two.
Yeah.
The reveal sort of thing. I'm always a sucker for that.
I also like the reveal that they're wearing masks. Like
Yeah.
when you got
Yeah,
the
yeah. When he
little
finally
slam in
hits
the face.
one,
Yeah.
and she's pissed about it too. She's
Yeah.
like,
That's
"You are
als-
not supposed to see my
That's
face.
also
I'm
very Japanese.
I'm an evil
Yes.
goddess. Don't look at my face."
Yeah. The design of the design of all like the bad guys in this movie. I mean, and the good, like, the design of the movie is
Yeah.
flawless. But the big fucking underwater eye things were
Scary.
gorgeous and scary.
Super creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you look up how big they are, they're huge. As is the skeleton.
Yeah.
The skeleton
Yeah.
is gargantuan. That's the only one they show like in the post credits thing.
That was awesome.
and yeah, I mean, I love that they do that because I mean, you can tell it's a little bit of like we put so much work into this. Look at how hard
Yes,
this was to do.
Please look at it.
We wanted to. They're not showing us something we didn't care
Understand
Exactly,
our
yeah.
blood and sweat.
But they also have fun with it too, because at the very end when they're showing you how it's made, the skeleton turns on the
always
animator.
fun.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah.
oh, that's so funny.
And they did the same thing with Box Trolls with the two
Yeah.
of them talking
Yeah.
about like who would waste their time animating this. And it's like,
Just that must have taken days.
yeah. But that's my favorite thing about Laika for every single one of the movies is they have a wonderful sense of humor about like everything, and even this movie, and even with like how heavy Paranorman gets at points, it's nothing compared to this. This is far and away their heaviest film for all of its three lines. It's a big thing about grief, death, sacrifice, and all these really big heavy plot points, and it still makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's one thing that I'll always love about Laika, as I've stated in past podcasts, that they don't dumb down anything for the kids. Like they
No.
trust that the kids can handle this. And all they need you is to trust the kids as much as they trust the kids.
Which is why I'll be very curious to see what their next one looks like, because they've had two films in a row now where the kids couldn't hack it.
Well,
or at least the parents didn't think they could.
Can the kids hack it or the parents? Kind of like
Yeah.
Well,
like what you said. Some of
Beetle
them
and
just
Monkey had an argument about it, where
That's true.
Monkey's like, no, we're not doing this, too dangerous, and Beetle's like, Kubo seems to be able to handle himself.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
let him
that's
try.
true.
Let your kids get scared.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with a child being scared. It's actually a very healthy emotion.
Yeah.
Go read Goosebumps.
Or other
That's
books.
the takeaway.
Okay, I think we've done pretty much everything we can do on this episode with Kubo. I think it's time to hit up quotes. Quotes. I'm gonna go first because I don't want anybody to take mine. Because out of the whole movie, McConaughey does a great job, even though I thought it was Stephen Colbert. He's sitting there. He's like, I have a question. If your name is Monkey and mine is Beetle, why isn't he called Boy?
My favorite quote is also from Beetle, but it's from when he's trying to prove his worthiness to come on the quest. And he pulls out his bow and arrow, and he starts shooting at the wall. And Monkey's like, oh, yeah, real impressive. You just shot an arrow into a wall. And then he just does the boing, boing, boing of like the arrow into the arrow into the arrow. And he just goes, literally the first time I've ever done that.
That's good.
I guess I'll go with the Beetle one, too. He said when they wake up in the morning and he goes, I think I slept on something. Ugh, sword uncomfortable.
Oh, the sword puns were good.
There's so many great
Sword
sword
unfindable?
Sword unbreakable. It broke.
Maybe it's just the handle.
Yeah. Oh yeah, another good one.
Still gotta find one.
I'm gonna go with what Mackenzie changed from the refrain of the movie. It hooked me in. It opened with this line in narration form, and then it is the first words out of Kubo's mouth when he goes to tell the story in the village. He strums his guitar. I'm gonna call it that because I've got the name already.
Yeah.
And he says, "If you must blink, do it now." It's just a great way to open a story.
It's a good
Yeah,
delivery.
He's such a performer.
Yeah.
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 The
and
kid
I just
in this
love
is
how
Like, I'd
Yeah.
listen to
later
that
on we
kid.
understand
Like,
what
ooh,
that
you got
really
my
means.
attention.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do I have to not blink while you're telling the story?
I
Because
didn't. The whole movie, my eyes were so dry.
Yeah, if you had to do that while Kubo was telling the story, you'd
Can
be
I get
fucked
some
at the
eye
end, 'cause Then he
drops?
didn't finish the story.
Oh, I can't blink for years.
So the the moment I thought was fairly funny is when he's talking about trying to pick up the sword in the hand. He's like, "Don't worry, Stealth is my middle name." She's like, "You don't even have a first name,"
It's pretty good.
and it's
he gave himself a middle name.
Beetle. Beetle stealth.
Okay, so the ending for this, we got to do a review system. Movies with controversial endings. Nice and difficult for our last non-holiday themed episode of 2016. Yep, I can go first. You guys ready for this?
yeah.
Ready.
No Country for Old Men.
This is just like that movie.
It's so much like this movie. Honestly, my main reason for it is
We
because
did bring up cows.
the cows. Yep, no, that's it. It's a journey of characters, lots of sacrifice, lots of problems. People live that you were kind of hoping they would. People die you kind of hope they wouldn't. And at the end, the ending is kind of like, oh shit, that's not how I expected it to go down. Kubo and the Two Strings, same movie.
Not bad. Not bad.
Okay.
I'll go with one of my old standbys, Return of the Jedi. It's all about dads and sisters, and I don't know. I'm sure the ending was controversial in the 80s as well, but it got real controversial when they put in Hayden Christensen.
No, throw you down the chute.
I'm gonna go with a weird pick. Arlington Road, in that both had an ending I
Okay.
did not expect. You're thinking like, okay, he's definitely gonna kill his grandfather. It's gonna be your classic tale. Oh, that took a turn. I did not expect that.
I don't remember Arlington Road.
The
I
good
remember
guy
Tim Robbins
loses
is in it, yeah.
completely.
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's
I'm
right.
gonna
Yep.
see if I can get this one to work. All right, I got it. I think.
Ready.
Go.
Serious Man.
Okay.
It is a movie that is very, engrossed in its specific culture.
Nice.
Serious Man is very Jewish, and there's a lot of people that didn't go to it because they're like, I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't know. What is it about? Well, it's about being Jewish and having a Jewish family. And in this one, it's being Japanese and having a very Japanese family and, things you got to live up to. and it's got a very controversial ending in the way that you see the kid, and you just hear that there's a tornado coming, and the kid looks at the tornado, and then you cut out. You're like, what happened? What happened after that? Was it happy? Did they get away? You have no idea.
I think we have 2 Coen Brothers movies on this right now.
So it's just like you watch this whole movie and you have this like journey with this one character about what he's going to do and how he's going to try to be a happy person, and then the movie just cuts out, and you're like, is that a happy ending? I have no idea. A serious man.
No. All right, last but not least.
All right, so I'm gonna go with Kingsman. Kingsman.
There we go.
The Secret Service, because like Kubo, I'm going with Chewie's version of the ending. Like Kubo, you're supporting him. You're like, oh, he's our hero. This is great. He's doing fine. And then at the end, you're like, fuck that guy. Or at least I am.
Why? Because he murdered everybody?
No, because it got really misogynist at the end.
Oh, there's that too. Yeah.
Did not like that.
That is the weakest part of that movie
at all.
You're talking about the butthole scene?
The butt sex.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a weird turn in that movie.
You take that out of that movie, and it's a great movie.
Even the joke, like the first part of the joke, I thought was kind of funny, but then when they went through with it, I was like, that's not funny. Now it's not a joke. Now it's just creepy and gross.
It's just a dude going, I can do her in the butt.
So, to bring this episode to a close, coming up next week, we have... what is next week?
Too soon?
Nope.
It's that one that I
The
didn't
Night
see yet.
Before.
The Night Before is next week. Yeah, because I want Christmas one to come out Christmas. So next week is The Night Before, the Seth Rogen comedy, and it should be a lot of fun. And the week after that, Mackenzie's actually going to help us out with this. We're going to do our Secret Santa thing, which... That's the best way to describe it. Is Secret Santa thing.
I thought you were gonna say Secret Thanos. I'm like, what the hell?
Secret Thanos thing.
La la la, no spoilers.
Which is, if you weren't paying attention last week or you weren't listening to our battle episode, around the table we are going to pull names and we are going to secretly pick a movie for someone else to watch. Mackenzie's going to help us out and tell the person what they're watching so that I don't have all the movies spoiled for me, which is usually how this goes down or how this would go down, and I don't want that to happen this time. So thank you to Mackenzie for helping us out with that episode coming up. She says,
you're welcome.
I'm welcome.
We're welcome.
We are all welcome. Okay, so again, a quick round of plugs. Check out Angel City Pit online. Check us out online at athpod.com, and that's the only plug I'm going to say because our website's great and everyone should go to it.
And once you do, please follow our link to our iTunes.
Yes.
Subscribe and rate us.
There is also that. I wasn't going to say that because I'm so excited about the website. That's the only thing I care about right now.
Cool. I got you.
Yep. All right, so thank you again for everybody for coming out.
You're welcome.
And bye!
Bye.
Bye.